And Tony, I understand, too, that because of your great interest in children, that a publishing firm has a child's book on you.
Yeah, Gordon, they decided that I might be interested, to some kids and stuff in school, so they decided to do a little book on me and everything.
I think that's very interesting. We have a lot of strong men in professional wrestling who also get into the body contests, like superstar Billy Graham. We're talking about Ken Poure and a host of others. But on January 13th, truly, it has to be what I would say is a battle of the strong men, you and Ken Poure in that squared circle.
Well, Gordon, I have wrestled Ken Poure in the past, and everybody know Ken Poure is the first and man ever to lift 500 pounds over his head. He's the only American that ever lift 500 pounds. His record still stands at 505 pounds. So when you wrestle a man like Ken Poure, you're going to have to really know your stuff, because the man big and strong and is rugged.
Thank you so very much, Tony Atlas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. One fall 10 from Tennessee at 215 pounds, Roger Howell. Roger Howell. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, the incredible man from Sudan at 308 pounds, introducing Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah.
The Butcher charging right on the bell, moves against his man. Off the ropes, catches him with a double thrust to the throat, coming off the ropes. Abdullah the Butcher, the wild man from the Sudan, brings him up. Crashes down, had him up in a backbreaker position. Abdullah the Butcher off the second rope, crashes down on his man once again. Crashes down on... no question, it's all over. Abdullah the Butcher destroying his opponent in what could be classified as almost record time. And now another referee moving into the ring to offer some assistance to the fallen foe of Abdullah the Butcher. I'll tell you something, this Abdullah is something else. There's no question about that. I wanted to take a moment, if I could, to talk to Bob Armstrong, because there are so many things going on right now here in the state of Georgia. And, of course, Bob is from Marietta, Georgia. Bob, nice to have you back on the show.
Mighty good to be here. I just watched a man who's very impressive, Abdullah the Butcher, a great big man, a man who can hurt you in a minute. But you've got a lot of big men coming in this area, and I think 1980 will probably be the biggest wrestling year, because you can look at the array of talent you have. Everything's happening here. I'll tell you something else, too, Gordon. This Omni coming up the 13th is probably going to be one of the biggest Omnis ever held, because there's going to be a lot of things settled, a lot of things happening. You can hear the excitement and pandemonium in the studio now, thinking how it's going to be when you get into the Omni. And also tonight, I've got a big match in Carrollton. I haven't been there in a while. I'm looking forward to that. But the Omni is where it's happening. A lot of things. Dusty Rhodes back on the scene. Abdullah the Butcher, the crazy man, the Sheik, an array of talent never before seen in the Omni. The 13th will be the biggest of them all at the Omni. Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall 10 from St. Louis, Missouri at 212 pounds, Jerry Kane. Jerry Kane. His opponent, the Georgia television champion from Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Idol. Austin Idol.
Austin Idol is the Georgia television champion, and, of course, just being introduced. Going up against Jerry Kane. Now, there's Tommy Rich to join me here, and he's watching this match, obviously, with a great deal of interest.
Gordon, right now, Austin Idol, he does have the belt. See there right now, it shows his style, his class right there. He went off and he left Kevin Sullivan in a battle royal. Just left him out there with two men. Now then he's got a young guy in here, and he's taking advantage of him doing anything and do to hurt him.
He is indeed, and this man has got some problems here. Austin Idol continuing to punish him.
That's ridiculous. He's just taking advantage of the guy. And, it's just uncalled for. It's wrestling. And Idol, he'll do anything to win a match. Whatever it takes, he'll do. But, if I got the chance to crawl in the ring with him, it'd be a little bit different story, because I ain't going to lay down for nobody.
Well, certainly no question about that, Tommy. I would certainly be the first one to verify that situation. He is the Georgia television champion, and of course I know that 1980 you're looking to try and get that World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yes, sir. You know, that was my New Year's resolution, my Christmas present to myself. That's all what I'm waiting for. You know, and right now, Austin Idol, Mr. Pretty Boy himself, he's got the Georgia television belt. There's a whole lot of folks in line for the Georgia heavyweight belt, you know, but I feel like as strong as this Georgia television is, if Idol's got the guts and if you're such a tough champion, I want a shot at that belt you got right there. You got some remarks to say about me, darling? No, I ain't got no remarks. I'm just naming facts right now. I'm saying if you've got any guts, you'll give me a shot at that belt. You ain't got the guts. You're not good enough to shine my boots, Rich.
Wait just a minute. Tommy Rich caught Austin Idol, and he's in that ring ready to...
Give me that contract. Nobody does that to my partner.
You want to sign?
Nobody, yes,
I've got a contract right here. You may just sign right away, sir. And that contract is for the next...
does that to my partner.
He don't have to wrestle all wrestling.
Well...
He wants to wrestle somebody. Oh, well, he can wrestle Austin Idol, darling.
Okay, we've got it.
If he wants to feel the fury of Austin Idol, darling, he will feel it. You will now feel the power of Austin Idol. Let's go.
Well, we have a contract signed for the next hour. I've got 2 signatures on it, Austin Idol and Eddie Mansfield. And so it appears to me that during the next hour, find yourself a tag team partner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Idol ain't got the guts to fight nobody one-on-one.
Brother Tommy, please, brother, do me a favor, man. Do me a favor. Make me a Christmas present. Let me be a partner against those guys. I need that, man, real bad. Let me
Kevin, excuse me, brother. I don't, you know, I know y'all got a deal between you. I don't know what it is, but like I said, I need a partner, and I can't think of one no better to have. We'll do it. Right now,
Sign it. There it is. All right, they're both signing it. That means during the next hour of Georgia Championship Wrestling, it will be Austin Idol, Eddie Mansfield against Tommy Rich and Kevin Sullivan. And what a match that is going to be. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very much. And here's a special word to all wrestling fans.
With TV time remaining, from Poure at a weight of 300 pounds, introducing Mr. X. Mr. X. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, at 233 pounds, Mr. Wrestling number 2. Wrestling number 2.
And there's no question about it, of course, this is the real Wrestling number 2. The other Wrestling number 2 exists no more as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure as far as the wrestling fans are concerned. This Mr. X, a big fella. He has to go over 300 pounds. And I notice Mr. X missing, and wait a second, Superstar. The Superstar over at ringside talking to Mr. X. Mr. X missing again with that right hand. And it's obvious Mr. X taking direct orders from the Superstar. Wrestling 2 gets the leg. Mr. X gets into those ropes. And again, you see the Superstar with more comments to it. This has to be somewhat disquieting to Wrestling 2 to have somebody at ringside, and now it is Wrestling 2 catches him. Wrestling 2 catches him once again. Wrestling 2 caught him in the midsection. Not enough to drop him, however. Snap mare that takes him to the canvas. Side headlock, Wrestling 2. High knee lift that put him down. A knee lift that put him down, and again, Wrestling 2 charges another knee lift, this one into the side of the rib cage. A lateral press. It is all over. It is all over for Mr. X and Wrestling 2. After that mask, Wrestling 2. After the mask of Mr. X. Mr. X trying to keep that mask on, but Wrestling 2 fighting to remove that mask. Wait a minute. Superstar just charged, wrestling from behind. Superstar after the mask of Wrestling 2. Superstar trying to rip that mask off. Wrestling 2. Caught from behind. The referee hurtled backwards. And it is Superstar after that mask of Wrestling number 2. Wrestling 2 trying desperately to hold on to it. But it is the Superstar continuing to pull up that mask of Wrestling 2. He continues to try and get it off again. The referee throwing to one side. The Superstar has his mask. And now the Superstar, Wrestling 2, concealing his identity in a Superstar, putting the boots to Wrestling 2. And we're trying to get everything separated here now. Trying to get these things separated. And we have a...
That's what you belong, underneath a rock, with all the rest of the slime in the earth. Come on, Sue. You're supposed to be so tough. He's gonna ruin me, huh? Without this mask, he said it. A masked man is ruined. And you just saw me destroy
syndicated wrestling commentator, Gordon Soley.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome across the nation to another hour of the very finest in NWA-sanctioned professional wrestling. This is indeed Georgia Championship Wrestling, and one of the outstanding athletes in the United States today in professional wrestling, the bad man from Borger, Texas, Stan Hansen is with me.
Thanks for the compliment, Gordon. You know, there's a lot of things going on around the state of Georgia, like I was saying a little earlier. You know, they got this big, nasty guy in here. What's his name?
Sterling Golden.
That's right, Sterling Golden. The guy's 6'7". He weighs about 320 pounds. And look, believe me, I mean, I just looked at him, and he looks very, very capable of taking care of himself. You know, you got the Crusher. Everybody's really gone crazy about the Crusher, and I can see why, because he's like Bob Armstrong says, and you say too, he's made a lot of predictions, and they've come true. And he's teamed up with Big Tommy Rich, and everybody in Georgia and all over the country knows that Tommy Rich can get the job done, and they are the champions. And, you know, you got Ernie Ladd, and everybody's going crazy around here. Everybody's trying to get the belts. Cox has the belt. The Heenan family's right involved in it. I'm involved in it. I just hope I get a chance. You know, you got Big Andre coming around a little bit, 7'4". I'd like to see him get in the ring. And, again, this Sterling Golden, you know, he's got the squeezy or whatever it's called, the Goldie squeezy, or I don't even know what the thing. Something he made up. Well, let me tell you something. I got this old lariat. And I'll get in there, and if you want to put $1,000, maybe I like money a little bit, too. You know, I've done a lot of things. People know I've done a lot of things for money. And $1,000 means a lot to me. I might put my lariat up against that golden squeeze or whatever it's called. I'd just like to get in the ring and see how tough this guy is.
Well, there you have it, an open challenge. And so the first man to answer the challenge from Sterling Golden is indeed Stan Hansen. During this next hour, we're going to be seeing Sterling Golden in action. We'll be seeing Jacques Goulet, also from Russia, Chris Markov, and a host of others. So a lot of action upcoming during the next hour, so by all means, do stay tuned. We'll be back with our first match right after we pause for these important words.
Ball with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Brownsville, Tennessee, weighing in at 242 pounds, Carl Fergie. Carl Fergie. His partner from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 245 pounds, Rick Oliver. Rick Oliver. Waiting now on the opponents to enter the ring, the NWA Georgia Tag Team Champions. Weighing in at 252 pounds, the man who made Milwaukee famous, the Crusher. The Crusher. His partner from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing in at 232 pounds, Wildfire, Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich. The referee is Tommy Weathers.
Okay, Tommy Rich and the Crusher moving into the ring now. They are the Georgia Tag Team Champions. Moving into the ring, and it is, you can hear them saying rat-a-tat-ta. They're picking up on the sounds by the crowd. Here, the slogan from the Crusher himself, the man who made Milwaukee famous. Waiting now for the bell to ring. So we're seeing the Georgia Tag Team Champions in action. Tommy Rich in the red. The Crusher in the purple, going up against Carl Fergie. He's in the turquoise trunks. Rick Oliver in the navy blue, or royal blue, rather. Slide headlock, and it is Fergie powered off. Pitches Rich. Good forearm. Rich drops to the canvas, keys down. High hip toss on Fergie. And Fergie backing away. And obviously very upset over the presence of the Crusher in that corner. Side headlock now. Bag is made, and the Crusher moves in. And the Crusher catches Fergie, drives him to the canvas. Crusher smashing Fergie into the turnbuckle. Backdrop on Fergie. Crusher using the flat of the foot very effectively. And the Crusher catches him again. And Oliver appeared to be a little bit reluctant to make that tag, to step in there against the Crusher, and I can't say that I blame him. I'm sure if Oliver had his druthers, he'd rather... No, sir, he fired away, caught the Crusher. Oliver hurtled into the far turnbuckle. Crusher catches him with a knee to the midsection, makes the tag with Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich moves into the ring. Tommy Rich, beautiful flying drop kick, well executed, lateral press. Oliver powers out before the count of 3. Oliver, 245 pounds. Rich brings him up, beautiful vertical souffle. And that may be all she wrote for Rick Oliver. No, sir, it was not. Rick Oliver caught him coming in. Catches him again. Rich, a little overconfident that time. And so Tommy Rich paying for that mistake. Fergie quick to seize advantage of that. Catches Rich, drives him to the canvas. Now Rich fires in the midsection, fires again. Between the legs, makes the tag with the Crusher. Off the ropes, the Crusher catches him. The Crusher, another shoulder smash, the third shoulder smash, catches Rick Oliver on the far side, moves in on Fergie once again, has him up. Full body slam, makes the tag with Tommy Wildfire Rich. Tommy Wildfire Rich moves in, fires him off the rope, caught him with an elbow. Fergie is down, Wildfire, not even trying to pin him this time, wants to bring him up again. A full body slam, cross body block. Crusher in there against Fergie. Tommy Wildfire Rich against Rick Oliver. All four of them in the ring at the same time. And they hurdle Fergie and Oliver into each other. The Crusher said, Tommy Wildfire Rich, a vertical body block. Fergie dropped out of the ring. And a fine victory for the Georgia Tag Team Champions, Tommy Wildfire Rich and the Crusher, making short work of Carl Fergie and Rick Oliver. An outstanding match, and gentlemen, what a combination you two are.
That's right. Big lean machine, me and Tommy. You can see why we are the Georgia Tag Team Champions. Come on! We don't bar nobody. Anybody wants a shot at these titles? Red attack them. Red attack them. It's all over town, everywhere you go, in the airports, in the saloon. It's red attack them. This is Crusher country. These are my kind of people, and Tommy's about it. Yes, sir. You know, that's exactly right. Whole lot of things going on. Big Bad Ernie Ladd and Big Mouth Only Anderson. They come out and say they could beat us. Crusher said we'd do it in 20. We did it in 14. So now then they still screaming. Big Ladd and Anderson still screaming. Out here today crying the blues about they got cheated, this, that, and other. Whole lot of things going on.
Well, there are indeed, and I may just say, I'd like to remind all of you, of course, that this coming Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium, Andre the Giant will be on hand along with Tony Atlas to take on Bobby Heenan and Killer Carl Cox. And then it will be Tommy Rich and the Crusher defending the Georgia Tag Team Championship, but it'll be 2 out of 3 falls. That's right. Now is Bob Armstrong from Marietta, Georgia, and certainly a very, very popular gentleman. You know, Bob, there's an old Southern phrase about never let your alligator mouth overload your tadpole or whatever. I can't repeat the rest of it, obviously.
Yes.
But I think we saw somebody do that.
Yes, you certainly did, and I know you're just about as happy about it as I am because he never remembers your name, Gordon.
Right.
He always calls you Norman. But Bobby Heenan, a man that's supposed to be so smart, who has a family around him, who is in and out of contracts constantly in paperwork, he went and signed the wrong thing. I can't believe that happened, but you know, it took me a while to figure it out with Atlas, but now he's put his foot right in the middle of it, and I'm tickled to death about it. And you know, Gordon, when that happened, I was watching that monitor in the control room, and I couldn't help it, man. I had to bust out laughing, and I'm tickled to death, and I wish we could see that again if you got it. I mean, you know, I think everybody'd like to see that again.
I do, too, and it's a typical situation where greed, avarice, and anger took over and took the place of common sense. So at the conclusion of this particular match that was going on at that time, Bobby Heenan came over to the desk, and here's what happened. Sergeant Jacques Goulet makes his first return appearance here to Georgia Championship Wrestling, a victorious one. I want to take a couple of minutes to talk.
Another thing. Let me get something straight right now, and this goes for you two. I'm tired of people making accusations about me. I'm tired of people saying I'm yellow and I'm a coward. If I'm so yellow and such a coward, what am I doing standing right here, right now, face to face with these two? And there's nobody around me. You'll never get in there. You worry about me getting in the ring, either of you. You're chicken, you know it. Chicken? I'm afraid of you two? What's the title, man? The superstar Blackjack Lanza, Killer Carl Cox, and I could take you two any day of the week, any time like that.
Well, you let me tell you something here. Why don't you get one of your main men, especially Cox, because I like that Cox. Why don't you and Cox get together and you put on a little bit of tight and sign your name? Will you be willing to sign your name to a contract to wrestle us?
You two? You two? I'd be more than happy to, because I'm tired of being insulted. I have some pride and some dignity, and I'm tired of people insulting me. You come up with a contract, pal, and you got yourself Cox and myself.
Well, you let me tell you something here. I just so happen to have a contract right here. And I even bought you an ace pin. All it needs is your signature.
Well, we'll see here. He's signing his name. There it is. It's, hey, gentlemen. You signed it, right?
Right, and I'm not afraid of anybody.
Oh, no. You have put your foot in your big mouth because let me tell you something.
I put my foot in my mouth.
Let me tell you something. You should have went to school and learned to read instead of learning how to run your big mouth. Because when you sign your name, you should look and see whose name you signing under. Because you let me tell you something, Mr. Heenan. You had Cox. You had Cox. You had just signed a match for you and Killer Carl Cox to wrestle one Black Atlas Brickhouse, Tony Atlas, and my main man, 7'4", nearly 500 pounds, Andre the Giant.
Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium, and you heard it. There's the contract. Tony Atlas and Andre the Giant against Bobby Heenan and Killer Carl Cox. Wow, Tony.
You know, he had did a lot of jaw jacking all through the years. And he Friday night at the Atlanta City Auditorium, Tony Atlas and Andre the Giant to wrestle Cox and Heenan. Good job. Woo!
Well, there you have it.
I'll tell you, Gordon, it took a lot of figuring to outfox the fox, but that's exactly what we did. And the only thing that'll ever make me happier than what you just saw is that one of these days I get my little old hands on that Heenan. And what I'm going to do to him, brother, well, I can't even talk about it, Gordon.
Okay.
This match will be one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Stockbridge, Georgia, weighing in at 205 pounds, Johnny Nix. Johnny Nix. His opponent from Mobile, Alabama, weighing in at 215 pounds, Ricky Fields. Rick Fields.
Ricky Fields going up against Johnny Nix. First chance to see Johnny Nix in action. Be interesting to find out a good duck under go behind. High waistlift takedown by Ricky Fields. Fields with a ride. A float over. Continues the ride. Nix finally escaped. Fields back on his feet very quickly. Nix in the long black trunks. Arm drag takedown by Nix, but Fields very quickly into a head scissors. Ricky Fields back on his feet again. All right, with a side headlock now, it's Ricky Fields maintaining dominance at this point. Now, front face lock. Wow, beautiful takedown into a lateral press. Nix fires out before the count of 3, however. Again, Fields with a takedown. Ricky Fields caught in the midsection by Nix with an elbow. Fields fires a hard left hand, high knee lift. Put Nix down. High knee lift. He looks like Fields has been studying wrestling too very carefully, watching him in action, and he has really developed a very, very fine knee lift. Cross face lock now, hooking the arm at the same time. So Nix's left arm partially trapped here. Nix trying to drive him back into the ropes, and it is Fields driving him back to the center of the ring. Nice to have some folks here today from Cedartown, Georgia. These matches, of course, under the sanction of the National Wrestling Alliance, the oldest and largest sanctioning body of professional wrestling the world over. Any use or rebroadcast of this program without the written consent of the National Wrestling Alliance or Georgia Championship Wrestling is prohibited. Beautiful belly-to-back suplex, well executed. And Nix came out of it, and that amazes me, very frankly. I thought for sure it'd be all over for Mr. Nix, but he has a lot of grit, a lot of determination. No, sir. Nix comes out again, but he is obviously tiring now as Rick Fields beginning to dominate more and more in this match. Variation of a fireman carry that time, a vertical position. And again, it is Nix coming out. Rick Fields moving exceptionally well against this man. Forearm across the pit of the stomach. Nix back to the canvas. Nix again coming up very, very slowly. With a suplex and the series of takedowns that Rick Fields has perpetrated upon Nix. Nix has to be having a lot of problem getting his breath. Up into those ropes. Nix, one to the midsection on the break. Bolo-type forearm under the chin of Rick Fields. Elbow to the base of the skull of Rick Fields. And so this Nix now beginning to fire back. Rick Fields closes in again. Rick Fields catches him in the base of the skull. Again, a high knee lift that puts Nix down, and Nix is getting slower and slower getting to his feet. Rick Fields in a steady process of slowing his man down. A knee into the chest once again. And it's Rick Fields, one to the midsection of Johnny Nix. Pushes him off the ropes. That knee lift again that puts Nix down to the canvas, and Fields closes in on his man again. Shoulder breaker. That had to be all she wrote. Ricky Fields using that shoulder breaker, and used it very effectively, and it is all over for one Johnny Nix. Well, this coming Friday night, Mr. Heenan is going to be donning the wrestling trunks, stepping into the ring against Andre the Giant.
let me tell you something. Armstrong's out here gloating. He's laughing like I'm a fool or something. He doesn't want me any more than I want him. But Friday night, that's right, Killer Carl Cox and I were tricked into it. Tony Atlas stood out here and lied to me. He led me to believe it was going to be him and Ricky Fields Friday night. Well, I don't like it. I'll tell you the truth. Yes, I'm worried. That guy's 7 feet 8. He's 600 pounds. He can break my back, break my neck, break my arms. I make a lot of money in professional wrestling. I don't want to be put out of wrestling for good. Cox is the Georgia champion. And then I have to stand here and be humiliated and treated like that by the likes of Tony Atlas. Lies to me. I was under the impression it was another match. Well, I am sick and tired of this, and they are going to answer to my attorney and everybody else. Do you understand that?
Well, I understand that. I also understand they'll be wrestling Monday, October 8th in Cedartown at Perks Gym, and Saturday, October 13th in McDonough.
All at a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Tampa, weighing in at 315 pounds, Sterling Golden. Sterling Golden. His opponent from Macon, Georgia, weighing in at 225 pounds, Chick Donovan. Chick Donovan.
Maybe you people out there don't realize what you're looking at, Daddy. But you got 6'7" right here, a mountain of a man. I want y'all to mark it on the door, and then I want your skinny little husband to stand underneath it so you can see how little he really is. 320 pounds, Daddy, a blue twisted steel. And this man's going down in defeat right now. Mark my words, baby. Anybody out there who wants to step in the ring, I got $1,000 up for anybody that can break the golden squeeze.
Bit of psychological warfare and the extremely confident, vociferous Mr. Sterling Golden. Wow. No question about his strength, though. No question about the tremendous power of this man. And a $1,000 offer up to anybody who can break the golden squeeze. His variation of the bear hug. And again, Donovan hurtled to the canvas. And so to approach this man head-on, collar and elbow, as Donovan has done twice now, obviously, is an exercise in futility. Top wrist lock now, and look at this. With one arm, and he broke the wrist lock and hurtled his man away from him. Chick Donovan, a picture of frustration that time. For the third time, he's been outpowered by this man. And now Donovan, a duck under, and that may be the only way to approach this man. Wow, Donovan. Tried a shoulder smash to no avail. A fine drop kick that drove Golden back a little bit, stunned him, but wow. Donovan, a little over anxious, charged in. Golden crashing down across Donovan's chest. Golden moving in against him again. Raw, brute power on the part of this man, Sterling Golden. Donovan trying to hold on to those ropes to no avail. A backbreaker. Came out of it, but it looked to me like Golden may have been picking him up at the same time. Duck under by Donovan. Fine drop kick that drives Golden back again. Golden caught him that time with a thrust into the throat. He's got him in the golden squeeze. He's got him in the golden squeeze. Yes, and Donovan screaming and conceding. He had him in that zone. Look at this tremendous muscular conformation and definition. Here's a man who has, no question about it, a superb athletic body, tremendously conditioned. At 6'7", over 300 pounds, just a dynamo in the ring. Coming out right now are two fine young athletes. I'm referring, of course, to Rick Fields and to Buzz Sawyer. And, Buzz, we saw you earlier in a very, very fine victory.
Thank you, Gordon. I appreciate the commentation. We're just sitting in here watching this match, and the competition coming here at Georgia is just getting really, really stiff.
Well, the size of that guy, Gordon, I've never seen anything like it. He's one of the biggest guys I've ever seen in my life, you know. in a way, it's real bad, you know, if somebody my size or his size gets in there with somebody like that, well, then all we got to depend on is our size, our agility, and as long as we can outmove them and keep them getting their hands on us or anything, well, we're in pretty good shape.
Youth and agility, that's
right,
what we're going to use on them.
Yeah, we got that, and those guys are so big, there's no way they can outmaneuver us and everything, and they got so many big guys coming in here. This is the hotbed of wrestling, and they got some of the best wrestling talent in the world coming in here right now.
Well, this match will be one fall with a 15-minute time. Introducing first from Georgia, weighing in at 240 pounds, Jack Poure. His opponent from Roanoke, Virginia, weighing in at 250 pounds, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, going up against Jack Poure. I've never watched Jack Poure wrestle before. It'll be interesting to see how he does against Tony Atlas. He moves very quickly into a side headlock. And so Poure, aggressive right from the start. Poure keeping the pressure on Tony Atlas. Goes into that little Atlas shuffle and moves out of it. And Poure complaining that he was had grease or something there, but he doesn't. He just slipped his way out of it. Good duck under, go behind into a full Nelson by Poure. So Poure obviously knows his way around that squared circle. Atlas, flexing those tremendous muscles, breaks the hold, and Poure, unbelieving it this time, can't quite believe that happened to him, drives a knee to the midsection, catches him in the throat. Atlas doubled up, Poure moves in, catches with him a forearm across those pectoralis major muscles. Hip lock takedown on Atlas. Poure. And Poure now frustrated, and now Tony Atlas chops and is Poure back to the canvas. Poure staggers back to his feet. And it is Poure now driving that shoulder. Tony Atlas now a hard punch to the side of the head. Poure with a hip lock takedown on Tony Atlas. Atlas gets him into a head scissors and has his arms wrapped as well. If you would, he has a chancery on him. Poure, he's out of the ring. He's out of the ring. His feet are outside. The referee calling for the break. Atlas, elbow to the base of the skull on Poure. Poure smashed into that turnbuckle. Poure shaking his head. Atlas brings him up a full body slam. And Poure, favoring the lumbar portion of it, catches him two short jabs. Hey, look at this. Brings Atlas up. A full slam. Mr. Poure is proving to be a dangerous adversary indeed. Atlas, a series of flickings and a double chop, and it is Poure back to the canvas.